Well, I'm not suggesting that President Trump will be satisfied quickly. I'm just suggesting that I don't think the litigation will be as extensive as it was 20 years ago. The problem then was a combination in Florida of a series of statutes that had been cobbled together over decades that were highly inefficient. They allowed two separate lawsuits, one on a county basis, and then when that was over, one on a statewide basis. That was one problem. And the second one was the nature of the ballots, which were inherently defective in their design. Florida has corrected the statutory problem, and almost all states in the United States now use the ballot with the little bubble that you color in, which has been very reliable. As far as the litigation itself is concerned, the litigation moved pretty quickly. The courts, in 2000, the courts took up the cases almost immediately. The appellate courts took them up almost immediately. And in those cases that have been filed thus far, they've been moving very quickly.
Barry, we've been reporting this morning on the fact that if you look at two of the big battleground states, Ohio and North Carolina, that ballots will be accepted as late as the 12th and 13th of November, so 9 or 10 days after the election. What do you think this means for the process? Do you think there will be a delay just because of some of these states?
That's clearly the case, but that's got nothing to do with people filing lawsuits. That's because of the fact that the ballots are counted after the election in many states. Florida is not one of them, so we won't have Florida as the center of that problem again. And in addition, and one of the reasons that that's happening is because of the huge number of mail-in ballots and early ballots, which are ballots that still have to be counted in most states after the election. So I expect there's going to be a delay because of that. Whether or not it makes a difference, I suppose, will just depend upon how big a margin there is for the winner.
Barry, we spent pretty much most of our pre-election coverage saying, will the president accept the result? Will there be a contested election from the president's point of view? But I guess one can actually try and look at it from the other point of view as well. Is it possible that the Biden camp, that the Democrats would contest the results of this and elongate it from their point of view?
Well, of course, that's possible. And contesting the election in the United States, as in the UK, is perfectly legitimate in itself. That's the nature of our system. We have the right to go to court to contest things. What is not legitimate and has never been done before in our history is for a losing candidate for the presidency to refuse to accept the results after all of the litigation is final and the last court has spoken. And that's an unfortunate development in our system, and that lies at the feet of President Trump.